Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
It's time for the Lithia Ford of Boise Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise postgame show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Should we just talk basketball the whole time? That's a little better thing to talk about. 86-71 win for the Boise State men's basketball team down in Fort Worth, Texas, against Texas A&M. So congrats to the basketball team. Small chance we may get a player to jump on live during the show here if we can make that happen, but I don't know if I'm quite ready to say it's a basketball school yet, but a big win for Boise State basketball. And we'll talk about that a little bit, but they just finished up. We figured most folks were watching that, so we waited. Kent Riddle going to join us here shortly as we get set to talk a lot of football as well. Tough one, obviously, for Boise State, 28-16. So get your comments in, get your questions in, your thoughts on this one. 28-16, Boise State falls in the Mountain West title game. If you can't hear us or have any issues, let us know. We're enjoying a beverage or two. We're here at the James Kitchen and Bar, downtown Boise, right across the street from Albertsons Stadium. If you have not been to the James, it is an awesome spot. You need to come check it out. And we're appreciative of them for having us here. Folks are having a good time watching the games that are on TV right now. A lot of cheering and hooting and hollering for the Boise State basketball win. And now you got folks watching the Clemson, North Carolina game, some of the other games that are on as well. So we're appreciative. I know it's probably not what you want to do, sit here and hear us talk about a Boise State loss in the Mountain West title game. But we got some guys that have never talked to the media that you're going to hear from tonight. We talked to Ashton Genty. We talked to Eric McAllister. We talked to Jalen Clark about that penalty. That was a huge penalty, the roughing the kicker that led to a first down that kept the drive going for them. So we talked to him about that as well. So very thankful as I look for my notes here for all the different players that we got a chance to talk to. And the Mountain West rule allows, it basically says that any player has to be made available to the media after the game if they played in the game. So we took full advantage of that and talked to some guys that had never talked to the media yet. So you're going to hear from Jalen Clark about that penalty. You're going to hear from, as I said, Ashton Genty, Eric McAllister, Zeke Noah, who'd we talk to? Tyreek Jones, a lot of guys we talked to. We got highlights as well. We're going to hear from Kent Riddle, like I said, in just a couple of minutes. Get those comments in. What do you make? Boise State falling in the Mountain West Championship game. What bowl game do you want to see the Broncos play in? That's kind of the talk of what the attention turns to now is what bowl game is Boise State going to go to. They would have gone to the LA Bowl with a win, and now with a loss, we will wait till tomorrow. I don't know if Brett McMurphy has any updated bowl projections yet, but we will have to wait and see. But I tell you what, Perry and his staff are doing a tremendous job. We've got some pizza here for Colin and Jaden. They've devoured most of that. As I said, we're having a drink or two, so we appreciate Perry and Barry and the whole staff here at the James for letting us hang out. So get those comments locked and loaded. Once Coach Riddle makes his way here in just a minute, we will get to some of those comments and thoughts. We'll go over the stats. We got highlights. We got interviews, like I said. Boise State, in the last 8 years, guys, now has 2 Mountain West championships. That's hard to believe, isn't it? 8 years, now 2 Mountain West championships, 2017, 2019, and that's it. So Boise State loses at home on the blue, and obviously a tough one for Boise State. I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors while Coach Riddle's getting set Cutwater Spirits, Cutwater canned cocktails. We appreciate them. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out for all of your painting needs. But if you're in the Twin Falls area, they'd love to take care of you. BNN Twin 23 is the promo code. BNN Twin 23 is the promo code. If you're in the Twin Falls area, they can take care of you. And they're offering 23% off if you use that promo code. So make sure you take advantage of that. Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor here on the pre- and post-game shows. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can do what the Raines family did. We found our truck online. The one we wanted, went in and test drove it, and a couple hours later, we were driving off the lot with our new vehicle. So we love our F-150 from Lithia Ford of Boise. You will like it as well. Check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. And again, they will, if you don't want to buy from them, well, they'll still give you a cash offer on the spot for their used vehicles or for your used vehicle. So check them out, Lithia Ford Boise. And, of course, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, the official bank of Bronco Nation News and the Raines family. I've been into the bank one time when I set up my account. I've never had to go back in. I deposited a check on my phone this morning. It's very easy. So if you're looking for a new bank, make the switch like hundreds of thousands of other Idahoans have done to Idaho Central Credit Union. And again, we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. We got some comments rolling in. Frisco Bowls, where a couple of the fans want to go. We got Frisco. First Responder Bowl. That's on the 27th, I believe, for the First Responder Bowl. First Responder Bowl would be a no-go for me and probably for the players because that means missing Christmas. You'd be having Christmas Eve, Christmas Day down at the bowl game, which would not be ideal to have to miss the holidays with your family. So that's certainly not what Boise State probably wants. It would be to have a bowl game down where you have to miss Christmas. So the Frisco Bowl, I believe, is 22nd, 23rd for the Frisco Bowl. The problem is the Frisco Bowl, you don't play as good of a team. The First Responder Bowl, you'd get a Big 12 team. So you might get a Oklahoma State or a little bit of a name, Big 12 team. But the Frisco Bowl, the trade-off is you don't play as good of a team, but you at least get it over with by the 22nd, 23rd, and you get home for Christmas. So there are positives and negatives, obviously, with the bowl selection. And we'll find out tomorrow, but it does sound like those are the two leading candidates, Frisco or First Responder. Something could happen where, something obviously could change, and all of a sudden, a trade is made and all kinds of crazy things happen, but we'll find out tomorrow what time the bowl games is. Boise State again falls 28-16. Kent Riddle going to join us here shortly. He's making his way over to the table here in a second. But you look at this game for Boise State, I was just surprised how much they passed the ball early in the game. They rushed for 316 yards on this team 2 months ago. Fresno State came in ranked number 78 in the country, I believe it is, in rushing defense. And Boise State was having success. They rushed for 5 yards a carry. But for whatever reason in the first half, Boise State just decided to try to pass the ball. 20 pass attempts in the first half for Talon Green. He finishes with a career-high 38 pass attempts, 2 interceptions, did complete 17 of 38 passes, so barely, that's less than 50% of the passes completed for Talon Green. Did have the 1 touchdown, finished with 175 yards thanks to that 52-yard touchdown to Davis Cutter that kind of, for all intents and purposes, ended the game. You want to go check on Coach Reed, maybe tell him we're ready when he is. But he's going to come join us here shortly, and we got some other stuff coming in here from Colin. Let's save that to the downloads. But we are let's look at the stats here. George Helani rushed 13 times, 74 yards. No touchdowns for him. You had Ashton Genty, 7 for 32. Talon Green had 8 for, let's see here. What was that? 8 for 30 for Talon Green. Even Elion Noah got 2 carries. I was a little surprised to see Noah get in there. But you had Davis Cutter, the best game of his Boise State career, 5 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Riley Smith, 4 catches, 41 yards. Latrell Caples, 4 for 24. Billy Bowens, 3 for 20. But really, Boise State just, the defense played really well. The offense just could not get much going, and they settled for some field goals in the first half. Weren't able to get anything going. We're going to talk about the roughing the punter call. That was obviously a big one. Kent Riddle has a big experience. Do we have that clip, by the way, the roughing the punter call? Is that in the highlights, or can you send that to me separate, please, if you don't mind? I would like to dissect that roughing the punter call if we have it. I don't know if you can slow it down or anything, Colin, but that was obviously and that's a great worker, by the way, that I tell him after we're already on the air that I need something, but Colin will come through for us, so we appreciate that. But again, Boise State, 3 field goals in the first half, just really struggled to get much going. And, they finished, the defense played great. I mean, you look at the total yards, 245 yards for Fresno State. If you tell me that before the game Fresno State's going to have 245 yards, I think you win this game rather handedly. 7 punts for Fresno State. For whatever reason, Boise State, again, the offense, had 321 yards, just couldn't really get much going. It was not a great day offensively for Boise State. They settled for field goals. But again, it was 14-9, and they were about to get the ball back until that penalty happened. We're going to hear from Jalen Clark. He talked about that as well and what happened on that. But that was a huge play. The punt return was a huge play. I mean, Fresno State had like 80 yards of offense and all of a sudden had the lead because of that punt return, 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. That was from Regimio. That was obviously a huge play for him. He did some things in the passing game as well. So Fresno State, man, give them credit. They took advantage. Boise State, for whatever reason, I didn't love the game plan from the offensive coaches. I know Dirk Cutter's done a lot of great things here, but I just wasn't a huge fan of what they did offensively. I thought there were some things they could have done differently, obviously. But no, it was just a situation where, they just couldn't get it done. Special teams, defense, there were obviously some issues for across the board in this one, and Boise State falls. And as I said, we'll have to wait and find out what the bowl game situation is moving forward. But, again, 28-16 the final. And Boise State falls. By the way, good news for the basketball team, as we said, 86-71, so at least a little bit of good news here as we welcome in Kent Riddle. Kent, appreciate you, as always, for coming to hang out. Obviously, as you can expect, a lot of disappointed fans with this one. 28-16, what was your take on the game today?
Well, I'm disappointed too. Yeah, I was up there cheering and just didn't work out. I think the big deal, like Fresno State's a good team, well coached. They did some really good stuff. Had a few unfortunate breaks. I think the big deal always, just looking at the stats. I haven't looked at the stats, but I think Boise State had more yards, but lost the turnover battle.
Yep, and the 2 interceptions, obviously. Yep.
That was really it. I mean, lost the turnover battle, and Fresno State did a great job on their punt return, got a big play off of that. And, I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Special teams obviously was a huge part of this game as well. You have a lot of experience there. Obviously, I was able to talk to Jalen Clark after the game of the Mountain West rule. Lets you talk to anybody that played in the game. So I asked him about the penalty, the goal there in terms of trying to block the punt. We're going to show it as well, and we can talk about whether it should have been roughing or running. But 4th and 15, I mean, I know they were going for the block, but that led to a touchdown. You had the 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. Special teams obviously was a big factor in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's been a big factor most times we played them. First thing I would say is Fresno State, their special teams guy, coordinator, John Baxter, one of the best in coaching. He's phenomenal. We've had a lot of really good battles over the years. Bax is like as good as there is anywhere. So he obviously came in with the plan. And want to, commend him. But, if you punt the ball down there with not much hang time, bad things happen. And just so we're clear, like I'm not criticizing Boise State. I mean, we had we played Fresno, and I'm thinking the year might have been 03-ish. But we hit a line drive to Bernard Berrien, and he ran right around us for a touchdown. And, fortunately, we were able to pull out a win in that one. They obviously in 2018 were able to tip an extra point away and block the kick.
That was a huge play in that game that went to overtime.
So it's always a huge factor. But I just thought Fresno State made some big plays in that area, and anytime you return a punt for a touchdown, that's
I mean, they had like 95 yards of offense, and you look up and they're winning 7-3 because of that punt return. And I know you're not going to come on here and rip Dirk Cutter or whatever, but the game plan, a lot of fans.
No, I'm not.
But if you could
that
maybe
guy knows
explain
more football than I've ever.
Well, the first time Boise State and Fresno State played, Boise State rushed for 316 yards. And that was early on in the progression of Talon as a passer. The offense was still evolving. It was the second game for Dirk Cutter. But in the game tonight, I mean, he had more first half passes than I think any half he's had the entire time he's been here. Some fans were saying, you know, they were getting 5.2 yards a carry, I think, in the first half, or 5.8. Like, it was working when they were running the ball. Why were they passing so much in the first half when the run game was working?
Yeah, well, I would assume without looking at the film and all that, but I think they were running the ball when the box was right.
Okay.
And when there was an extra guy down in there, they were throwing it. And, yeah, you could say, like, well, just keep running it. Well, that's all great until the extra defender that's in the box is making the play for no yards, minus yards, whatever. And, you know, you got to have confidence in your guys to do that. And I'm sure that's really where Dirk was. I mean, hell, I don't even kind of know where he was. But I think that was probably it more than anything. Like, they were just trying to run the ball when the numbers were right in the box, and when the numbers were wrong, they were throwing the ball. And, you know, they just had some tough breaks. They had some tip balls, throws under pressure, you know, that sailed a little bit. And I think that's where the turnovers came from. But
I just Talon just looked a little off tonight. Some of the passes he'd been making weren't complete. I mean, he finished, you know, less than 50% completion percentage. He was 17 of 38. I think he was 14 or 9 of 20 or something in the first half. It just seemed like something was off with him, and the run game was working. Me personally, I would have. Again, I don't know all the technical stuff about the box and all that, but as a guy just watching a football game, I would have tried to run the ball more.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
easy to say now. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I think they had a reason why they were doing that, and they even tried to even the numbers out a little bit with the quarterback run game. And I thought Talon did a great job making some guys miss in space and turning what could have been negative plays into positive plays. And Talon Green's a hell of a player. He's going to be even better down the road. Maybe he didn't have his best night tonight. You know why? Hell, I don't know. I mean, it could have been for a variety of reasons. But you know, I didn't think he. I didn't think he looked overwhelmed by the situation or anything. I just think it didn't go his way as well tonight as it had previously.
We do have video here, Kent, that we can go ahead and show. Again, I thought the penalty for the roughing the punter. It was 4th and 15 at this point. The punt goes up. The contact comes on the leg as he's coming down. He hits the back of the leg. Some people thought maybe that should be a running into the punter. You know, again, I know we're both looking at this through Boise State glasses, but were you okay with roughing here?
Well, my typical understanding is if the guy's got both feet on the ground,
okay,
and they run into him, that's going to be running into.
But it looks like he's still airborne when he gets hit here.
If it's got a foot off the ground, it's probably going to be roughing.
Okay, so no huge issue with the call.
Well, I have a huge issue with the call because I want Boise State to win.
But from a technical standpoint, they probably made the right call.
I don't. Yeah.
What do you make of?
Let me just say this: if they had called that running into, and I was on the wrong side of that,
you would have been okay with that.
Whichever one they call, I don't think you
on 4th and 15 though. Wouldn't it just been easier to make it a running into? I mean,
it would have, but if you were a Fresno State fan, it wouldn't.
Well, now tell us about. No, we're going to hear from Jalen Clark here in a minute talking about the play, but he was saying that they obviously we're going for the block there. It's 14-9. You got the ball on the other side of the field. What's the coaching philosophy, I guess, in terms of deciding to go for the block there instead of knowing, okay, if we play this safe, we're going to get the ball with decent field position, only down by 5.
I think it was 4th and forever.
4th and 15. 4th and 15.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I thought that was a good call. I mean, because you're probably not going to get a great return because of where they were punting from. You know, it's probably going to be inside the 10 or 15 yard line there. So I thought the going for the block was a good call. The only thing I would say, a right-footed punter with the shield punt system, it's always hard to come off the left side, because you have to cross the punter's body. And you kind of saw that saw that happen right there.
Yeah.
I think ideally if they had that opportunity, it would have been on the other hash. But hey, you're trying to make something happen and win the game, and I think of.
So you don't have a problem with them going for the block there, and
not at all.
Well, let's hear from Jalen Clark.
Well, I was going to say we had I think a very similar situation where I didn't think it was roughing at all. I think the guy totally acted, but in the Cactus Bowl, against Baylor, we had a guy come off that side and tried to go kind of by him instead of across him, and their punter did a great acting job.
I just hate when if it's 4th and 3 or something, fine. But when it's 4th and 15, like it's got to be really egregious to be a 15-yarder.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You're just giving. I mean,
I would agree with that. I mean,
long-time special teams coordinator, of course you can.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing, and I think that's why they put the running into trying to make it so you could do this. But I'd rather see people be aggressive.
Yeah,
and some of that, hey, if you barely touch a guy, it makes it.
I get it. I don't know.
And do that.
I get it. Let's hear from Jalen Clark. And again, appreciate him. This is a new, this is a Mountain West rule where everybody has to be available in the game. And Jalen Clark was nice enough to agree to come out and talk about this play. And so it's about 90 seconds of Jalen Clark on the game. And he was the player that got called for the penalty. So we'll hear from Jalen Clark after the game.
And to lose the championship.
I would say it was a tough one. I mean, we worked so hard. We've been through a lot of adversity over the season with a lot of different things. But, I mean, biggest thing we do is respond. We get ready for the bowl game coming up. That's just the next thing ahead. So, I mean, again, tough loss at home. We never want to lose at home. But you tip your hat to them, we get ready for our next opponent.
Defensively, you got to be pretty pleased, man. You guys really played great on defense and just some special teams miscues, I guess, right? I mean, you got to be proud of the way the defense played.
I would say, I mean, it was all around. I mean, we stand on 3 or nothing or whatever the case may be, but I think it was an all-around effort. We want to still get back in the film. There's always things we can improve on. Defensive-wise, we still gave up too many points for our standards, but we'll get back in the film and get ready for next week, whatever our bowl game opponent will be.
What happened on the punt? It didn't really – it seemed iffy on the call, but what did you see from your perspective as you were trying to get the block?
I'll just say, I mean, our coach would teach me to go faster, your leverage, and I believe, I mean, I was just trying to get there, make a play for my team. Yeah. And you live with the ref's call, you can't change nothing about it. So.
Do you think it should have been running? I mean, that's a 15-yard penalty. They scored. I mean, that changed the game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, it definitely affected the game in ways, but there's ways I could have fixed my technique to maybe not have that happen. But again, respond with our defense, keep it going.
So were you going for? I mean, obviously you're going for the block, but what was like were you guys trying to be aggressive there? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And how do you regroup now for the bowl game?
Like I said, we're going to have a couple of days, get ready, rest our bodies. We've had a long season, but like I said, rest our bodies, get ready for this bowl game, whoever our opponent will be.
You guys going to be motivated to try to finish strong?
Absolutely, always. That's just the Boise State standard. Next opponent, we'll be ready to go.
Appreciate Jalen Clark there for talking about that play. You had mentioned off air there that maybe Fresno had a punt block or something. Maybe Boise State saw something in a recent game, which is maybe why they went for the block there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and you're trying to generate some momentum, get things going. So, yeah, I had no problem with them going for a block. And hey, I'm just not, like, there's a lot of calls that come down to this or that, or their fine line, and it didn't go our way tonight.
Well, let's keep getting some of your comments in. Let's take a look, Ken, at some of the highlights from this one. And folks can get their highlights in as we watch them. Obviously, the Mountain West Championship trophy on the field, on the line tonight, Kent. Both teams coming out, fired up. A lot of players playing.
Louder out there, bringing the hammer out.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of players probably playing in their final home game tonight. And, I mean, we're fired up for this one. And I thought defensively, you see Cortez Hogan's with a big tackle there. But, I mean, Ken, I said this before. The defense came out strong. They played early, played well. And I thought, 245 yards from this defense. If you'd have said that before the game, the defense is going to give up 245 yards to Jake Hayner. I mean, even when they had 2 long passes here, they bowed up in the red zone, made a couple of stops, and then they shanked the field goal, which we'll see here in a minute. But I thought defensively they did everything you could have asked for today.
No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And sometimes the stats get skewed a little bit. Fresno State obviously scored a touchdown on the punt return, so they lose a drive that, they could have made 60 yards. All that stuff. And that's where stats get weird. But I thought the defense played phenomenal. I really did.
245 yards against Fresno State in that offense. That's more than enough to win the game. Spencer Danielson, yet again, had a tremendous job. Taylon Green finally got going a little bit, Kent, in the running game. Yep. They had a little bit of, I think he had back-to-back runs at one point, but there was a little bit designed to try to get him going. Riley Smith had a couple nice catches as well, kind of as the check-down type guy or the short passes to keep the chains moving. And then you get Jonah Dalmas. He was 3 for 3, I believe, in this game, and this one was 26 yards, puts him in the lead.
The other two longer ones, I thought that was a big one going into halftime.
Caleb Biggers with a big sack here. I don't know what the final numbers were in terms of the tackles for loss, but it seemed like Fresno State was behind the chains a lot in this game.
No, I think so.
Here's the punt return. We'll come back to that. But what did you make of the punt return here and what you saw on that?
I thought their guy, they did – well, their guy. I thought Coach Baxter did a hell of a job of, scheming it up and trying to put their unblocked guy being our long snapper, who's done a heck of a job all year.
Yep.
But that's just a tough
and that's got to be a big momentum swing too when your defense is giving up nothing and all of a sudden a punt return and you're trailing.
Absolutely. And then followed up by a turnover.
Another turnover, and then they Mims ran it in for the 3-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden you're down 14-3 just like that. I mean, that was a crazy turnaround. That was with minute 18 left in the second quarter. Boise State, though, Kent was able to get it going a little bit heading down before halftime. Got in position for Jonah Dalmas, a 47-yarder with 2 seconds left. And so they only go down into half, 14-6, one-possession game.
Absolutely. That was a huge deal. Great job managing the clock, winning that. And then, came out in the second half, 3 and out. And then
defense 3 and out,
Yep. Defense came out. They kicked off Fresno 3 and out.
This was a 44-yarder for Dalmas here.
The offense gets the ball back, drives it down. Next thing you know, it's 14-9. And Fresno got into some bad situations.
It just seemed like they were behind the chains a lot, whether it was negative runs or you saw that play there. And
snap.
And again, it's 14-9. Boise State defense continues to play well. There's another sack. And you got whether it was Ty Jones or Noah or Washington. I mean, a lot of these guys are playing at well less than 100%. And they're out there battling on defense. Kent, like I said, did a heck of a job. Just unable to do – this was where the penalty led to the touchdown there for Fresno State. And you're about to get the ball back 14-9, and instead they go on, I think it ended up being an 87-yard drive for the touchdown.
And the touchdown play was a rough one because I think Boise State, it was coming out of an injury timeout.
Yep.
And I think
they looked like there was some miscommunication too.
They believed that the officials were going to hold up the play to let them sub once they saw.
And it looked like some guys weren't even in their stance or whatever when they snapped the ball.
And Boise State was looking at the sideline and kind of just right after a substitution. And Fresno, to their credit, realized, hey, we can snap the ball and made a big play.
So it's 21-9 at that point. Boise State trying to get back into it, but another interception. The same guy, Cambridge, the defensive MVP, I believe it was Cambridge. I don't want to get his name wrong here. Was the Cameron Lockridge. I'm sorry, Cameron Lockridge. 2 interceptions. He was the defensive MVP, and then Fresno State able to go score again and make it 28-9. The great Taylor Tharp in attendance. You never know who you're going to see at the James Kitchen and Bar. But 28-9 was the score after that. They take advantage of it, and they do get a touchdown. They had a run here, but then they do get the 1 touchdown, 52 yards to Davis Cutter. But overall,
heck of a play by Davis.
Yeah, he scores here.
Hey, if a guy's going to finish his career on the blue, what a way to finish it. Never quit. So fired up for him. Made
the score look a little better there, but unfortunately, Fresno State able to. Yeah.
Nobody cares about that.
No, they don't. A loss is a loss, but Fresno State able to kneel the ball, run out the clock, and for the second straight time, Fresno State comes to Boise in the Mountain West Championship game and wins that That's got to be just to lose the championship game at home, Kent. I mean, how? I know it's an obvious answer, but I mean, you get the home game, you're rolling, you're 7-1, in the last 8, and then to have it all set up for you and to not be able to get it done at home. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah. Hey, I thought these guys competed all year. They battled through unbelievable adversity, and some of it worked out well, and today just wasn't the day. I wish there was an easier answer than that, but today just wasn't their day. And turnovers and the special team stuff,
which is exactly what me and Winston Venable talked about on the pregame show. We said in a championship game, it's going to come down to the little stuff, winning the turnover battle, special teams. We brought both of those up, and like I said, the defense plays its heart out. Special teams, but I think the offense too. The 2 interceptions and just the inability to get you score your first touchdown with 6 minutes left in the game or whatever. I mean, they just couldn't find the end zone enough tonight.
Yeah, it was just a rough day, and I think it would be foolish to blame anybody for it or whatever. I think it was I think we just need to chalk it up to it wasn't a great day. I think one of the interceptions was tipped. The other one, Taylor was kind of getting hit as he threw it. I thought Taylor did a great job, being a factor in the run game.
Yeah,
getting out and made some guys miss. Turn what looked like negative yardage plays into 10-yard gains, and it today just wasn't the day. So,
nope. Well, we got some comments coming in. Folks are ripping on Matt Bauscher for his throws during the timeout. He was out there, a contributor to Bronco Nation News. We got the video at some point. You sent it to me? Oh, I do have the video. You sent me the video. We might as well. People are ripping on him. We might as well show it and rip. We'll throw Matt Bauscher under the bus here. Why not?
I'm not going to throw Matt Bauscher.
Where would I see that? He's trying to send it to me right now. How about that? He's a contributor. He's our basketball insider. He's actually an advertiser, so maybe I shouldn't be calling him out if he's providing money to keep me on the air here. But he's down there trying to win money for one of his clients or for somebody by throwing a football 10 yards into a where is it at here? Presser, punt, Noah, Clark, Bronco walk. I don't see it on here. We'll get to it later. But anyway, that was embarrassing for Matt Bauscher. So come on, you're better than that, Matt. Oh, he misses the first one, and then he tried something where he was shooting a basketball with the football. I don't know what he was doing. But
he's got great range. So that
not enough, I guess. But folks are saying it was 100% roughing. Andy wanted running. Let's see. What else we got?
I would have been, if I was on the sideline, I'd have been lobbying for roughing or running into all the way.
Yeah,
and to the point where I might have gotten another penalty. I mean.
James says Boise State should be proud. If for a loss, it's still as good as it gets. Defense, Dalmas were amazing. To limit Hainer to less than 200 yards, only 1 touchdown is a huge accomplishment. And the only touchdown he had came on that drive where it stayed alive after the penalty.
Yeah. And let's not forget, I mean, Jeff Tedford, hell of a coach, right?
Yep.
Like I said, John Baxter, guys, he's coached at been a great coach at Fresno for a long time, but he's also Michigan, USC. I mean, that guy's a big-time coach. Kirby Moore, obviously a guy on the way up. Their defensive staff did a great job. Let's not forget these guys are trying to win the game too, and they have good players. And, I do think health probably comes down to it to some degree.
Yeah.
I know Boise State, a lot of guys that have been out played tonight. I'm sure they were playing tonight because at the end of the day, they were somewhat healthy enough to get cleared, but they might not have been 100% either.
Yeah. Let's hear from Andy Avalos. We'll hear from Andy Avalos for a little bit after this one. This is Avalos and the players talking to the media after the game.
Congrats to Fresno for coming back and having a tremendous year and winning the championship. We got to tip our hat to them. I'm very proud. We obviously did not accomplish what we set out to today, but we accomplished a lot this year. We accomplished a whole lot of things in terms of growing our program, growing our family. And there's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of passion. There's guys that care about the things that we are doing. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of that. I'm blessed to be a part of these young men's lives, not only these two that are sitting up here on this stage, but they got a lot of brothers back in the locker room right now that, you know, obviously are not in a good spot because they care so much about each other, about Boise State, and all the things that they've put in to this program and will continue to grow. Thing that we do get out of this, you know, this opportunity today and our experience today is knowledge of how we can be better, because we do get one last opportunity together in a bowl game, and how we prepare to be our best, how we maximize our time together, how we enjoy our last opportunity together is going to be everything.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question for the student athletes, please go ahead and raise your hand. If you can state your name and affiliation, you can ask a question and a follow-up should you choose. Again, we will finish with the student athletes before we come back to Coach Avalos in front.
Rachel Roberts with the Idaho Statesman. This question is for Talon. What was different or more challenging about Fresno State's defense this second time around?
They just they did a good job giving us different looks and different down and distances. So, I mean, our job was to just adjust to it, and, you know, we're just going to go back to the drawing, just go back and practice and just get better and learn from it.
John Westrow, Idaho Press. Talon, just today, you know, after the season you had, you know, just kind of how much of a, I don't know, shortcoming is the right word, but, you know, just kind of what's the disappointment for you?
I mean, of course, it's a championship. Our goal was to win the Mountain West Championship, but like Coach Avalos said, it's experience, and you got to look at this from both views. You know, we lost, but it's experience and just the camaraderie that we built in this locker room that's really, really, we came together this year, and just the team just loves each other, and the brotherhood that we built is amazing.
Jay Tuss, KTVB. Talon, for you, what have the last 2 months been like, and maybe especially this last week, getting the chance to prepare for your first championship game, but overall, what has this last 2 months been like for you?
It's been crazy, but everything I'm doing, I'm just learning from it. First time going, so I just, like I said, just try not to make the same mistakes, and you know, it's a championship game. Like I said, we're trying to win, but I mean, it's experience, you know.
Davis, I know it's not the outcome that you probably wanted, but you know, you scored a touchdown last year against Oklahoma State. I know that meant a lot to you. What was it like to get back in the end zone in your final game on the blue?
Just disappointing. Feel bad for a lot of the guys in that locker room. Put a lot into it. Coaches that put a lot into it. People, supporting staff, people in this room that put a lot into it. So feel bad for Bronco Nation, and sorry it wasn't enough.
Davis felt like, you know, you got more involved in the game today. Obviously, like you said, not the result you wanted, but, you know, what did it mean to you to kind of get more opportunities, and just kind of take me through that long touchdown run?
Yeah, I mean, that was due to injury to Steph Cobbs, who was one of our best players and biggest leaders. So we were hurting to not have him out there with us. And yeah, I'm just playing football and trying to fight and finish the game.
Davis, what have you learned about Talon Green over these last 8 weeks, and what do you think about his future at Boise State?
I'll let this go to your head because you're sitting next to me, but this kid right here is a special kid, and Boise State is in a really good spot with him at the helm here for the next however many years, and it's not even what we see on the field. His talents are special. Everyone sees that, but the person he is in the locker room, the person he is, I've never seen this kid have a bad day. I've never seen him have a bad day. He shows up every day with a smile on his face. He's fun to be around. People are attracted to being around him because he always has a smile and he's fun to be around. So we're in a good spot, and I think Bronco Nation has a lot to look forward to with 10 at quarterback.
There's Davis Cutter. The whole interview, by the way, will get up on the YouTube channel. So if you want to hear the full post-game press conference with Coach Avalos, the players, we'll get that up on the YouTube channel. But I know there's still a bowl game, Kent, but you look at Talon Green, Ashton Genty, McAllister, Caples, Bowens, most of the line coming back, maybe Riley Smith coming back. I mean, I know there's still a bowl game, but this offense looks like it has the potential to be pretty lethal moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the talent's there. Obviously, thank you to Dirk for taking over this year and doing an amazing job.
Dumb question, but he'll coach the bowl game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay,
Yeah. I mean, I guess unless he doesn't. But
there was some talk of that earlier this week, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't he? I mean, it's his last game ever. There was a little bit of talk of that, but I don't know why he wouldn't. I know they are hoping to hire a new OC potentially before the bowl game, but
even still, like Dirk would coach, and
sure,
that guy would kind of work his way into it.
Yeah,
whatever. But no, I imagine he would do that. But I mean, you talk about like the kind of people we have here. You just listen to Davis talk about Talon, and what a phenomenal guy Davis is. And hey, he's only been here for a couple years, but that guy grew up a Bronco, and like that's the kind of people that are entrusted here, and for him to talk about how good Talon is, like not as a player, we all see that, but as a person, and that's the stuff that'll drive him forward, and I think it's just phenomenal to know that the program's in such a good spot.
We got some other comments coming in. Let's see here. Man, I love Davis. Wow, Davis. You can just see and hear the pain in him.
His last touchdown. Last time he probably touched the ball in the blue.
Kyle Matthews, Wow 104.3 Country, the best in the business right here. Make sure you're watching Wow Country. He may or may not have just brought us some drinks, so I got to give him some props. But there you go. If you want to request in, I know the guy, Kyle Matthews, does a great job. Good friend of mine. Wow 104.3 Country. Go check them out.
But
they'll hook you up with tickets.
To see Davis, like the last time he touched the ball, make a couple guys miss, huge play. I thought that was awesome. And, obviously, hey, we all hope that would have happened a few more times tonight.
Yep.
The reality of it is it didn't. And like I said earlier, I mean, tonight, it's funny to be sitting here a little bit detached from the whole, not a little bit, a lot detached, but from the whole thing. Like tonight today, this afternoon, I don't know, tonight, whatever, but just won the Broncos' day.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you would have hoped went their way just didn't quite. And Fresno State, credit to them. I mean, they made the most out of every opportunity they had.
Yeah.
So
Kurt says Dimitri Washington played, BJ. Yes, he did. Good for him. I think he had about 10 snaps. I was keeping track, mostly in like third and long situations.
Tyreek.
Well, he's calling me out because I said Dimitri was likely out for the season. So at the time, 4 weeks ago, I was told it was a pretty significant shoulder injury. And so props to Dimitri Washington. I'm glad he was able to come back. You could tell he clearly wasn't at 100%. He played 10 snaps, but to tough it out, good for him. I'm happy that he got out there and played. And
all those guys, all they want.
Tyreek Jones, Zeke Noah, Herbert Gums.
I just know if they could get cleared, they wanted to be a part of this.
And why not? Championship game on the line. And even Tyreek Jones, I mean, we thought his leg was going to be amputated last week when he got carted off. And then he comes back, and then had another scare tonight where he went down again and then came back and played.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us about the bowl game. We got a couple other players we can hear from, but before we let you go, I want to hear about, what is the philosophy? Is it the best opponent you can play? Is it try to get the kids home for Christmas and play earlier? There's two possibilities for the bowls, which it sounds like the two likely ones are either the Frisco Bowl, which is December 17th, or the First Responder Bowl, which is December 27th. One, you're home for Christmas. Coaches can focus on signing day. Everything's good. One, you probably have to spend your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the Dallas Metroplex area for the bowl game on the 27th. it was the 26th when you guys were there a couple years ago when it happened with Boston College, but now it's the 27th. Just your thoughts on a bowl game. Now, some stuff, we should throw out there. Sometimes there's wheeling and dealing going on. They move stuff around. Hey, we can find you a better matchup. We'll put you in this game. But just on paper, it looks like those are the two leading candidates. It could end up being something else. But as a coaching staff, I don't know how much input the special teams coach or tight ends coach or running backs coach. What do you guys try to find though? Is it opponent? Is it date? Is it all that? TV channel. What do you think they're talking about when they're trying to find them a good spot?
I think all that sounds great, and you can lobby all you want, but at the end of the day, like between the conference and really the networks, I mean, they're going to put you where they're going to put you. Do you want to play the best opponent? Absolutely. But do you want to do that? At this point, you're going to finish this season and you're getting ready for next season.
Yep.
So anything that makes it a little bit easier to recruit, like that probably helps you. But I think ultimately what you really want is you want to get with the players and find out what they want.
What do they usually want? Home for Christmas? They want to I don't want to say get the season over with as soon as possible, but again, the trade-off is I want to mention this real quick.
If they can play a marquee team,
I was going to say
they would want to play a marquee.
That is the trade-off. The first responder bowl is against a Big 12 team. So there's Oklahoma State. I saw in some projections to go there.
So
the problem with going to the Frisco Bowl is it's, I believe, a MAC team or a Conference USA team. Probably not as I saw Liberty in one of the projections, but there hasn't. Other than they're without their coach now.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: I can't speak for what the guys want. To me, that they're trying to decide like, hey, would I rather be able to go home for Christmas or would I rather play a big time opponent in maybe a little bit better bowl? And I don't know that they know that, but fortunately for them, it's probably out of their hands anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to make that decision. The one thing I do know is the Boise State name
carries some cachet.
Yeah, they'll get the best deal possible, and where that is, I have no idea. My son's on the team.
Yeah,
I care about him and all these guys. I mean, I have a very good relationship with a lot of players, and I want those guys to I would say most getting a little emotional here about this, but I want those guys to be able to finish it the right way. And I don't want to speak for them. Like, they need to be able to figure out what that is. And if it's a chance to play Oklahoma State and get a rematch for the game here that didn't quite go our way last time.
Yeah, that might be appealing to some of those sixth-year seniors. J.L. Skinner and some of those guys getting one last chance at them.
But at the other side of it, if it's, hey, like, I want to be done and be able to go home and, kind of figure things out, great, which isn't bad for the coaches either.
Sure.
Either way, those guys will get a little time off and get a chance to get back. But, rest assured, like, New Year comes, those guys are going to be rolling, and they're going to figure out how to be back in this game next year and win it.
Jeremy says he saw you at Tin Roof Tacos on Friday for lunch. Good to see you, Rid.
I was there.
I don't know if you know Jeremy Blades or not, but you got folks.
Yes, I do.
He saw you at Tin Roof Tacos. So James says for those that missed the didn't realize there was the basketball game today. There were fans up there watching it and cheering. Right? Nice win. At least got
Huge
one win.
I thought that was awesome.
Texas A&M, and now on the computer metrics, Boise State's up to number 58 in the Ken Pom rankings for basketball. That's now 5 wins in a row. And I got to imagine, Kent, I know you're not the basketball guy, but 3 Power 5 wins already. Washington State, Colorado,
and
now Texas A&M. I think that's probably the first time in a long time Boise State's had 3 Power 5 basketball wins, because you just don't play that many Power 5 teams. But to have 3 already, Eastern Oregon, then how about this, Kent? For the first time in my 10 years living in Boise, I get a work trip to St. Louis next week. That'll be they're a very good team too. They're ranked 42nd right now, so I get a work trip home next week. I am looking forward to that.
That'll be huge.
Go to a Blues game.
I'm a huge basketball guy.
We got to get you out to Extra Mile Arena then. Let's see you out there watching some games.
Yep.
Matt Bauscher's got these courtside seats. We can take care of you. We can take care of you.
I'll tell Bauscher I'll be there.
Okay. And maybe you and him can do the free throw contest or something, since we saw that he can't shoot the football throw. But maybe we can figure something out.
I will also say this on the basketball side, those guys are doing a tremendous job.
Yeah.
And it's fun just to see the Boise State athletic department overall succeeding and doing a great job. Jeremiah's unbelievable. We're so lucky to have him. I mean, he's phenomenal. But when he says like, "Hey, let's sell this place out," like we need to do a better job of
24,000 was the attendance, season low today.
Yeah, hey, trust me, I get it. I know there's reasons why. Everybody's got a reason, and I know there's only so much we can do with ticket prices at the end of the day. Like, we can't give them away because it's the championship game and all that.
I think Kent Riddle should have just bought 5,000 tickets for people to come in.
That would have been phenomenal. If somebody donates that money to me, I'll be happy to buy those tickets. Yeah, I just love to see Bronco Nation out there supporting their guys. Hey, props to everybody that was there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people bought tickets and donated them. Like, we have enough people in this valley. Like, we can put some people in there.
Yeah.
I really think that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's get that done for next year.
Yep.
Let's make that a huge deal.
And maybe you put it on the season ticket package, or you find some way to get – you got to find a way to get more than – it's the biggest game of the year, and it's by far the smallest crowd of the year.
Here's what I would say. Like, let's start with selling out every home game next year.
Sure.
And you know what? Everybody's going to show up, have a great experience, cheer the Broncos on to wins.
Yep.
And then you have such a great time that it's going to be like, hey, I need to be at the championship game. And like I said, I get there's a lot of stuff going on. I know there are basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. Like, I hear all that. Like, if you can't make it because you have something you have to be at, let's find somebody that can. And like I said, I heard plenty of stories about other people arranging for people to take their seats. But, I just feel like there's enough people here. There's enough Bronco fans. Like, we can do that. And I know I'm speaking to the choir because the people that are listening to this are huge Bronco fans.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's always been a frustration for me, though, too.
I'm not talking to you people.
Yep.
I'm talking to the average fan. Like, let's get your ass out here. Let's go. We'll figure a way out.
Yep.
Like, you
$25 tickets for this game.
You want to come? We'll figure out a way to get you in here.
It sounds like next year, if you want to go, Kent will buy you a ticket. We'll have to just
if not, I'll figure out how we can get that done. So,
Kent, what are your final thoughts? I'm going to play some Zeke Noah, but I'm going to let you get out of here. You got your family here, and we really appreciate your time. Your final thoughts. Boise State 9-4 now on the season. It had the great turnaround, after being 2-2. Unfortunately, that's a little bit, not quite as sweet as it would have been had you won this game. But you're 9-4, still a chance to get to a 10th win with a bowl game. What are kind of your final thoughts as you wrap it up?
Yeah, I think. Let's start with today, right? Everybody's disappointed. Nobody more so than the coaches and players and staff in that building, because they work all year to this stuff. And today didn't go our way. But that being said, I mean, gosh, to get to this point where we were from September, like, what an amazing job by everybody. And my heart obviously goes out to the staff and players, because those guys are part of my family also. And I'm just so impressed with the way they worked and competed and fought. And
still one left.
Yeah.
You still got the bowl game left.
They're going to finish great.
Yep.
They're going to finish strong. God only knows where it'll be or when it'll be. I would imagine whatever's worse for you, BJ. I would expect that.
My wife was already sending me some text messages during the game. Not too happy about the possibility of messing with Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my wife's the same way.
Yeah.
So she actually told me, she goes, I thought once you were done, we wouldn't have to worry about Then I forgot.
And I was like, once you own your own business, I didn't think you'd have to worry about that either. Yeah, but Kent, really appreciate you, man, this season coming in, and I think you did a heck of a job helping us out, and you left time with your friends and family to come down and spend an hour with us, and we really appreciate all season your time. And who knows what's next? Your son, obviously, I think, is moving on, right? And we'll see. But if you're still around next year, we'd love to keep you involved. And it was great to have you doing this. And we really do appreciate your time. And I know the fans really enjoyed it as well.
I've had a blast. This has been fun for me. I hope some people have gotten something out of it. I don't know, much, but yeah, am I a total homer? Absolutely.
That's okay. That's okay.
I get that.
The first game when you came on, I'll say this: the first game you came on, it was the UT Martin game. It was your first time doing this, so you were getting into it. The fans were all pissed off because even though they won, they didn't think they played very well, and you did have a little bit more positive approach than some of the fans. And so that first game, I think there was a little bit like, okay, well, if he's just going to come on here and be a huge homer all season week, but I think you were fair. I think you didn't take any shots, but you obviously helped explain some things. And I think from a technical kind of broadcast standpoint, you got better as the season went on and knowing what to say and when to say it. And I thought you brought some valuable info. You certainly have more idea about what's going on in these games than I do. So we really do appreciate it.
Well, to me, that's all I really care about it. Like, if I can help people understand, like, why stuff happens, it's not. I wouldn't be true to myself if I was criticizing guys that I didn't know.
Well, now that your kid's gone, next year we expect some some hard hitting in there.
That one was easy for me. I love him to death.
He's here actually, so we need to let you go hang out with him
all time.
Yep.
But I just if I can help explain some stuff, like why some stuff happens.
Yeah.
I don't need to be critical about, like, well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great.
That was what I really cared.
It was great stuff. The fans loved it, and again, we really appreciate you doing this for us. We're not paying him, guys. He just did this to hang out and be a nice guy and help out Barry at the James, and hopefully folks will continue to come check out the James. So, Kent, we appreciate you. Let's hear from Zeke Noah, and we'll hear from Zeke Noah for a minute after this tough loss. But again, thanks to Coach Ridd. And we'll see if we can keep this going.
Thank you, BJ. Yeah. Thanks for everybody putting up with me. I appreciate it.
All right, here's Zeke Noah after the loss. What are the emotions like right now?
Hurts, man. Well, we put so much work in to get to this point. We weren't able to finish. It hurts because the brotherhood we have here is so strong.
Defensively, I mean, you guys played your hearts out too. You played great on defense. It was a special teams touchdown and a call and a punt. I mean, do you feel is that what makes it tough too? That you guys pretty much probably did what you wanted to do on defense for the most part.
Regardless of what the stats were, I mean, yeah, we played good. It wasn't enough though. Our defense played all right. I mean, you could tell as a whole team we didn't play a full complete game. So
I don't know what you were dealing with, but obviously, what did it mean for you to be able to get back out there today?
And I just love playing with my brothers, man. Just being able to go back out on that field, and just thank God to be able to be out there on an injury that happened to me earlier in the season. I didn't think I was coming back, but by the grace of God, I'm truly thankful to be able to go out there and just play with the brotherhood. Like I said, the brotherhood we have here is so strong. It's just. Yeah, man, it hurts.
I mean, Dimitri, Ty Jones, a lot of you guys are probably playing at less than 100% today. I mean, I know it's a championship game. What can you say about the toughness of this team? You guys seem like you gave it all you had out there.
Yeah. Everybody has their injuries. Everybody's banged up. And that's what we talk about all the time. Everybody's banged up. There's no excuse for us. We weren't able to get it done. So.
How tough was that roughing the punter call that obviously gave them the first down and led to them getting another touchdown?
Yeah. We were aggressive in that call. We wanted to block, So, I mean, what happened, and I mean, there was no bad play call or anything. It's just the execution wasn't there, and the awareness of being away from the punter wasn't there apparently. But that's all right. Again, like our defense, when things happen, we respond the way we do on defense, and just go out there and just play our game. So.
in terms of the bowl game and stuff, I mean, and this team kind of wanted to finish strong. What's your thoughts, I guess, on how you guys regroup? And obviously, you still have one game left.
Yeah, we talked about it in the locker room. We still got one more game. We still got a chance to fix our wrongs that we've done, our mistakes that we did today, to be able to fix it. And that's what I'm actually excited about, just to play with this group again. So.
There he is, Zeke Noah. We appreciate him as we start to wrap this up here. We appreciate Zeke Noah. We're going to get all the interviews. We got Zeke Noah, the players, Coach Avalos, Tyreek Jones, Ashton Genty. You want to see Ashton Genty? We're going to put that on the YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. All of our post-game interviews will be on the YouTube channel. Big ups to Colin Mitchell over here. Colin, we appreciate you, man, for doing all the work behind the scenes, all the highlight package, all the stuff you're seeing was Jaden and Colin, and Colin's still over here working hard, so we appreciate Colin for all of his help. And, again, appreciate Kent Riddle for his help as well. Hopefully you like what you see and you'll consider subscribing. Or how about this? We're giving away a VIP basketball experience. That basketball team is on a roll. They won again tonight against Texas A&M, and you can ride on a private jet for two to watch the game in Las Vegas. You get 2 tickets to the game. I think you might even get to ride with Colin Mitchell on the plane. We'll see. You get to ride with Matt Boucher for sure, but I might be able to weasel Colin Mitchell onto the flight as well, and he'll be serving your drinks for you on the flight. We'll make sure it's a fun time, but all you got to do is purchase a 1-year subscription, $70, 1-year subscription to Bronco Nation News. You're entered in the drawing. We're going to draw it at the end of the year. We have weekly prizes as well. We're going to give away a nice zero-gravity chair next week, so help support us. We're doing this, as a small business here as we try to build, and we would love if you're able to help support us and subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. $70 for a one-time fee for the whole year. Get you in the contest. And as I said, we have weekly contests as well. We had a Bud Light cooler we gave away yesterday. We'll be giving away some gift cards, some other cool stuff. So, again, hopefully you'll consider subscribing. Appreciate all of you guys for checking us out. Thanks to the James, Barry, and Perry, and the whole staff for having us here. Thanks to Coach Ridd. I mentioned Colin and Jaden and what they're doing to help us out. So we got basketball on Tuesday. We got the bowl game tomorrow, the announcements. So we'll have full coverage, BroncoNationNews.com. May even do a Sunday night show to announce the bowl game tomorrow night. We'll see if we can get Johnny and Prater maybe on for that to talk about the bowl game. And then we'll have basketball Tuesday against Eastern Oregon. And then I'm off to St. Louis to cover the St. Louis basketball game next week. So the Broncos are on a roll right now. We appreciate you for checking us out. If you're not familiar with the website, go check out BroncoNationNews.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom of the screen real quick. We'd love to make sure you're a subscriber on YouTube. You can hit that like button as well. But thank you guys so much. I know it was a tough loss today. Not fun to hear an hour's worth of talk about a loss. But they do have a bowl game left. And obviously a big win for the basketball team as well. So there are brighter days ahead for Bronco Nation and Bronco Nation News. So thanks to all you guys for checking out the show. Thanks again to Colin. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow with coverage from the bowl game announcement. Keep it tuned to BroncoNationNews.com. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.